Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tom Devine. I am here to show you guys another new lineup of products from AVPro Edge. We're a name that you've come to trust for video distribution. We're going to do some things a little bit differently today, talking about some audio products and audio matrix. Housekeeping, let me know. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me and see me right now? If not, please, in the questions tab, let me know how it goes. I have my audio recorder up here, but in past, sometimes we have to switch in the middle over to the laptop if some of my wiring has a mishap when I bump into things, since I talk with my hands so much. But as I said, my name is Tom Devine, and I am going to be running through this training for you today. Let's see here. Okay, there's a lot of crap talking in the comments about how I look. I am glad to hear that you guys can see me and hear me okay. Let me know if anything else comes about. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. So as I said before, this is going to be a little bit different for AVPro. You know, when you think of AVPro, you think of stable video distribution solutions, because that's what we're known for, and that's what we make, and we will continue to make. We'll continue to push boundaries. But what we've heard from a lot of installers over the last 6 years, basically, is that video distribution is becoming harder to sell. Now, we can give you tons of information on why video distribution is still very, very important. But I know that your end users and your clients are going to still find themselves in jobs where they don't want video distribution, but you still want to give them full audio distribution. And so we've heard people say that, and so we developed a product specifically for that, and we're going to go over that. That's our AEX-RC-HUB. And on the same thing, since we are jumping into this audio field, we didn't want to just jump into the field with a product that no one's ever heard of or isn't used to using. So we are also going to be training on the AC-MAX-24, which is a 24 by 24 switch. So, or excuse me, an audio matrix. And so we are going to go over that today, and I'm going to start with the hub, and then we'll go into the matrix. But know that a lot of these things are similar. The hub has 12 ports and 12 ins, 12 outs. The Max has 24 ins, 24 outs. They are both going to use the same hardware. And so even though we are today shipping the AEX-RC hub and the transmitters that go with it, we are not yet shipping the Max 24, but I will have a hard date for when those are going to be shipping. So without further ado, let's get into these products. I'm going to open my PowerPoint here. So we're going to first start out with, one of a mentor of mine, his name is Alan Braun, and he always talks about, when you think about the products that you're going to be for us developing for the installer, installing and selling to a client, you need to think what is the problem and the solution. So let's look at these two scenarios, because these are two common scenarios that a lot of your integrators are going to be able to are seeing every day. And this is where you can fit these new AVPro Edge audio distribution products into. So scenario number one, and this is becoming more and more common. The customer wants to listen to audio from the smart TV apps throughout their whole home's distributed audio system. How do you bring that audio that is inside, the Amazon Prime app on the TV or in the Roku that's hidden right behind the TV? There's not a video distribution system, just using the internal apps for each one of your zones. How do you take that audio that you're watching in that zone or that room and bring it back to the head end so that you can distribute it throughout your patio, your garage, your kitchen? You're watching the Thursday night Amazon Prime football games, and you want to then have the game on in your living room, but when you go to the patio or you go to your garage, go to your kitchen, you want to listen to that game. Well, how do you make that work when the source isn't in the rack? The source is the TV. So now our source and the sink are the exact same thing. So how are we going to develop a solution for that? That is the first scenario, and that's what we developed this for. Our second scenario is you're installing a full audio video distribution system. You have a matrix switcher or an AV over IP system inside, and it has full video switching, but it also has a very robust audio system as well, and it wants full switching audio capabilities with all of its sources, plus additional sources that are found throughout the home, maybe a record player or any of the other audio sources that you can connect to, Spotify and other streaming audio things. So these are your two scenarios, right? Your traditional audio video matrixing, video matrixing, full video system. That's going to be scenario 2, and that's going to be your second product, our Max 24. And then scenario 1, this is your new age install, your install where there's not video distribution, but you can still provide for a very affordable cost whole home audio distribution. So these are the two products that we've been talking about. The top one is the AC-AEX-RC-HUB, and then the bottom one you have here is the AC Max 24. These are the two products that we're going to be talking about here today. And you know, it's kind of like two products of the same coin, because you have your first, this RC Hub is, and I'll go back to them here, I suppose. But your RC Hub, that's a unique product. There's not another product like that in the world. It's something that we listen to you as you told us. You know, everybody's using the internal apps in the TV. What can we do for that? And the solution has been point-to-point extenders and making a messy rack. And we're cleaning all of that up and giving you your standardized solution for that. And that's this top one. And then your bottom one, this is going to be your Max 24. As you can see, it's larger. It's a 2 rack units instead of 1. We also get 24 inputs and 24 outputs. Both of these devices that I'm going to be talking about through this whole presentation are 2-channel. So we're not talking multi-channel video or audio distribution. We're talking only 2-channel, and they do not downmix. So you need to make sure that you're setting your sources to 2-channel for these all to work, which is pretty standard. And this is kind of just kind of letting you know that we're going to start with the AC Hub. We were born out of video distribution. We're using those same engineers to use audio distribution, and we found that, you know, while it's not as much bandwidth, there's still a lot of things to consider with equalization, volume leveling, and all the different peripherals that connect to an audio system, like amplifiers, speakers, and sources. So this is our first product that we're going to talk about today. I have it right here. It's in our box right here, but you can see a really nice picture of it on your screen. And this unit was built out of what integrators told us. This audio hub allows you to bring audio sources from different areas throughout your entire installation back to the head end, where they can now be distributed through a traditional audio system. The best part about this is now you can hear the audio from your internal streaming apps like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus throughout your whole home. But more importantly, each one of those displays in your house, it becomes a source that you can cast to. So now I could have my phone, I could be listening to YouTube Music or Apple Music, Spotify Music on my phone. I could cast that to any of the TVs in my home. And then once it's just on any of the TVs with this device, now I can use my control system to play that music throughout my entire home. You could set some sort of party mode so that when this TV gets this signal, you know, you set it all the way up. The possibilities are endless. But what it does is it takes your installation, your smart home customization of audio video, and it brings it to this next level where you get to give your customer what they want. Those internal apps, the easiness of using the local TV, but being able to hear everything throughout their entire home, even when they're just casting from their phone to any of the attached TVs. And we'll go over a diagram to get into that further. But before we do that, let's take a closer look at what this product actually looks like. So it's a 1 rack unit. As you can see here, you have all your inputs and your outputs, and you can change any of the inputs to any of the outputs using your front buttons and your OK. But more than likely, you can look right here. This has control, and this has the drivers that it works with, third-party drivers. So that's probably how you're going to be doing all those switching. And the best part is you have your 8 inputs, and these inputs look a little different than most audio inputs, don't they? They're RJ45 ports. Then we have our 4 more traditional audio inputs. We have our 2-channel, left and right signals, and then our Toslink, which is still just a 2-channel input, but if you were coming off your TV. Now, the cool thing about these RJ45s is we can pair it with this. So we have been selling for a long time this product, right? And a lot of people install this product. We're selling tons of these. And this is just a point-to-point extender kit that extends audio over category cable. If you're using shielded cable, up to 130 meters, and for unshielded cable, 100 meters. So what ends up happening is you have a whole bunch of these receivers in your rack, and they're kind of got to be Velcroed down, or they're looking kind of ugly. And so that's what really we developed this hub to do, is to take that place. So now you don't have a bunch of Velcroed receivers in there. The receivers are built into this unit, and you can hide each one of these behind each TV in your system. Then you would be able to take a category cable, connect it throughout your walls into your rack, and plug it into one of the audio inputs. Then we can go from the audio outputs right here into your amplifiers and into your entire home's distributed audio system. This is a close-up of what that this transmitter unit looks like. So just think how it would go, right? You come out of the Toslink of your TV, it comes through a category cable connecting into this port, and now we get it throughout your entire system. So of course, these are the extra components that it comes with. We always have your back if you don't want to use rack units. It has feet, has the power supply, has grounding cables, has your Phoenix cable for control, everything that you're going to need. And so now we kind of have an understanding of what this product is. Let's look at the very specific scenario of how this product works. And so we have this home application diagram. As you can see with this home application diagram, you have each one of these dotted lines is like a different room. This big one, even though it's big, it's just the rack. So this is your closet, right? Then you have a kitchen, a home theater, and different areas throughout the home. And so with each one of these areas having its own display, or having its own, maybe this is a AVR, or in the kitchen, maybe this isn't a display, this is a record player. You can put one of these devices right next to it. Then we can run category cable back to the rack, and we can go into our audio distribution system directly from the outputs of this hub. So really it's a hub that takes in all of the signals from throughout the home and then puts it into one location, so then you can manipulate that however you want. Let's get a little more technical with this diagram. We can kind of see we have in this one 5 zones. One of the zones is an audio only source. Today, that's usually going to be a record player. Vinyl is bigger than it's ever been. A lot of people will have a room dedicated to their vinyl collection where they go and listen to albums. But wouldn't that be nice if when they were listening to that album in this local zone, they also could play that beautiful vinyl sound throughout their entire installation? And that's what this product does. So you can not only play the internal apps, but you can play record players and different things throughout the zone. So let's take zone 2. We have our home theater, right? So we have our display. We have probably an audio only source in there as well. So, you know, if we were going to have some sort of music player or some sort of player that connects to internet radio, that would maybe be in your home theater as well. So you could use those nice speakers. But then you can distribute that same signal into your hub and then into your audio distribution system. So this is exactly how it works. You can see that this AEX-T is the transmitter unit. That's what we have here. And that is really, really small. So this thing is so small, it can just hide behind any TV, no matter how small the TV is. It's a very, very tiny system or signal, and it runs on PoE. So it is powered from this device. The AEX, this is the reason that we built this. As I've said before, this is a product that we're already selling a ton of. And if you are buying this product, this training is even more crucial for you, right? Because you can now not have to muddy up your rack, not have to leave a mess on some sort of tray, but you can clean that all up with this hub. And so if you are currently purchasing a lot of AEX kits, it's time to switch over to the transmitter and the hub instead of the entire kit. And so that brings us into our AC-MAX-24, which is our 24 input, 24 output audio matrix. It's a little bit more traditional, but it still, of course, has those great AVPro bells and whistles. If you guys have any questions about the RC Hub, make sure you put those into the questions tab. If you're watching later on YouTube, you can just put them right into YouTube as well, and we can rock and roll that way. And I'll get your answers I'll get all the questions answered for you. But now we're going to go into the MAX-24. Now, after I get into the MAX-24, we are going to go into how they're similar. We're going to look at the web GUIs of both. and we're going to go through. But I want to show them both. I want you to have a grasp of both this AEX hub and then the Max 24. Now, I actually don't even have a Max 24 with me right now. Like as I said, we're shipping these, so I have tons of these around. But my Max 24s are actually in the hands of all my engineers. So I did get a shipment in, but I did need to have my engineers run it through the ringer, do all the tests on it, make sure all our control drivers are working. And so that's why I don't actually have a physical one right here. But we're going to look through this PowerPoint and be able to get some real close-up shots of exactly what this unit is and looks like. So this is a little different, right? What we talked about before was all about, these remote sources, centralizing decentralized audio. That's the Max Hub. Well, the more traditional audio matrix with 24 ports, this is different. This is the Max 24. This is just a 24 input, 24 output traditional matrix switch for audio. So that means you can take any of the inputs and then repeat them through all of the outputs, switch them however you want, duplicate, repeat, however you need to do. You can manipulate that through any control system. And now you deliver this directly into your distributed audio system and your audio amplifiers, and your whole home audio can be manipulated however you choose through the control system your customer is using. What makes this a little bit special and some of the features on it is it does have 20 analog inputs, 2 AEX selectable inputs, but also 2 AEX outputs, which is really cool, and we'll talk about that later. And then 2 coaxial Toslink inputs. So if you are using coax or Toslink, you'll still have 2 of those. And the matrix places the power in your hand to give you individual channel volume control, balanced and tone adjustment support, zone grouping, audio follow. It's bigger with only 2U rack size, but still will look really good in your rack as an only 2U rack size. So let's take a closer look at this. Nice, simple front plate that's going to keep your rack looking nice and smooth. But then on the back, you can see here, the first 2 ports are actually AEX. So as you learn from the hub, that one has 8 AEX inputs. This one has 2. This is going to be mostly for that record player or that music source you keep in a specific room. So we figured on this one, you only needed a couple. So you can still bring those sources from far away back to your head in, but only 2. Then you have 3 through 22, your traditional 2-channel audio input, and then 23 and 24 is your coax and Toslink, just giving you some more options for audio inputs. And then on the output side, we actually have 2 AEX transmitters, so these units built into this, so it can actually go to remote zones, go into remote amplifiers, go into remote headphones even, which is something that's really critical for a lot of gamers and home theaters when you don't want to bother the rest of the family. And then 3 through 24 is going to give you all the audio zones that you would need. We have some port outputs. These are for your grouping, so you can group different things or different ports around and do some pretty cool stuff by setting up your matrixing so that different inputs and outputs can be grouped together and you can use them and manipulate them in different ways for your customization of your system. And speaking of systems, let's look at a system where this Max 24 would go. Once again, this is going to be a home. This is going to be a nice home that has full video distribution. We have a home theater. We have a bunch of different zones with audio and video. All of our audio sources, a lot of them are just coming from our video matrix switch directly into our audio matrix. Then we have some different audios from around the home. In the bedroom, we have a record player, as you can see right here. We also have the internal apps from this TV that we're going to bring directly into here. For maybe if you're using music channels or you're using a Muzak system or internet radio. And then you have your outputs, right? I have my outputs that can go into a bedroom where I can maybe even have headphones and still listen to the system. Or I can come out traditionally into my audio amplifiers for going to my living room or my bedrooms or my home theater or wherever else I needed to send my audio. And so this is kind of looking at how this works, but let's look at a little bit more of a technical layout and how those AEX outputs really work. So we kind of understand you have your inputs coming in, You have your inputs coming in here. We have your outputs going here, going to all the speakers throughout your home, right? That's pretty simple. That's a pretty simple step, but kind of adding to that is your inputs, right? So with your inputs, these two inputs, maybe we have a record player here and we have a display around here that we're going to go directly in. And then on our outputs, we have some headphones in one of the rooms. And then right here, we have some speakers and a headphone for this zone 2. Maybe it's in a different area. But this is how you can really utilize and expand the jobs that you are doing with this Max 24. Now we're going to get into the AP, or into the user interface. And before I get into the user interface, I do want to say, if you have the Max 24 or the Hub, the user interface is going to look just the same. If you don't want to use the interface, you make custom control systems. That's not a problem at all. We have a complete open API. We will give the entire thing to you, and you can manipulate this box however you want. All right. I have a couple questions coming in, so I'm going to address those. Does the input have a photo preamp for the turntable output? It does not have a preamp, so that's something that you would need to source somewhere else here, Paul. And can it handle MM and MC outputs? I'm not sure what MM and MC outputs are. You want to just clarify what those are, Paul? And if I don't know, I'll make sure that I do get you an answer by the end of the day. All right, now let's take a look at this user interface. When you start it up, you're going to see that this is what how this works, I guess, is you connect either the Hub or the Max 24 to the internet via an Ethernet cable, and then you access the just as long as you're on that same network from your computer or from your phone, you can go to that IP address, and this is the screen you're going to see. So then you're going to have immediately going to be able to switch. You can choose any of the inputs and select them to go to any of the outputs, and that's going to be an active switch that switches your audio signals as you click them. Then going in, we have our system configuration. This is where you're going to find your IP address, your MAC address. You can find some different networking things. You can close down the admin web interface. You can agree to your cloud services so you can get OTA firmware updates, all the things that make integration a little bit easier. And then it comes into our configuration screen. And this is a really cool configuration screen. So I have my in and outs of configuration. Here's all my ports. I can label them whatever I want them to be. I can turn them completely off. I can just mute the sound. I can control the volume. We can have our output follow the different source only, volume only, or source and volume. Just some different adjustments that you can make easily on the fly with just a click of a button. Once you click into this, you actually do get a little bit of equalization. Now, this is where the two units differ. Right now I'm showing you the RC Hub, and the RC Hub, it has presets. So you can choose from classical, headphone, hall, live, pop, these presets, and it has a select amount that you can do. But we used a more robust DSP in the Max 24. So with the Max 24, you actually have individual control for equalization throughout any of these channels here. Once again, even though you have that open API, you can use it however you want. Control 4, a lot of our customers use Control 4. A lot of our other customers use Crestron, Crestron Home, QSC. I mean, whatever you're using, we will have the driver for you so that you can use the control system you want. One of the things that makes us special on top of everything else is that we have a 10-year warranty, and that's no different for our audio products. These products we stand by these products. They were engineered to last, and they have a 10-year warranty, just like all of our video products. And so without further ado, that is my presentation, guys. I'm very happy that you guys stayed with me throughout this presentation. It went a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to. So, if you were really hoping that this was going to last a whole hour, I do apologize. But I can have a bunch of more questions here. So I'm going to go through the questions now. This is kind of the training section that I have is done. And now we're going to just address questions. So please pepper me with everything you have. And I do appreciate you guys coming out, because all the questions that you have are questions other people will have as well. And if we address them now, we can really get to that. So I'm going to get in here. MM is movement magnet photo cartridge, and MC is moving coil phono cartridge. Unfortunately, Paul, actually Keith is the person who answered this. So Keith and Paul, unfortunately, I don't have those answers for you. I am just too much of a layperson when it comes to that technical detail. So what I will do is I will get with our engineers. I will ask these questions, and we'll make sure that that's actually on our documentation, on our website, and with everything that's supporting materials. But then I will actually just send you guys an email as well to make sure that we have those answers. The next question is, Thomas says, can the Max 24 be expanded to be using Dante or AVB? Now, we have a engineer on in-house that is working on all of our Dante solutions. He's an amazing engineer. We have tons of Dante solutions coming. But as of right now, this Max 24 and this RC Hub do not have any Dante built in. They are going to be very simplified solutions. Now, remember, we've never at AVPro done audio-only distribution like this. So this is our first entry, and we wanted to really get some stable, strong, simple to use solutions. And so that's what you have with the Max 24 and the Hub. But you better believe that our engineers are already hard at work. And if you visited us at CEDIA, or if you got to talk to any of our audio engineers, you'd really see that we have a ton of products on the way. So you will see matrices with Dante built into them, or AVB. You may also see some simplified just Dante products for our MX Net systems. You will have different audio only products for our commercial team. We have a lot of great products on the line from our audio only systems. But these two products, these are residential products. These are products built for our residential integrators, for our integrators that need those products today, that are doing jobs like these. We made them ultra affordable. So, contact your sales representative and they would be able to get you that pricing details as well, Thomas. All right, let's go in here. Damien, awesome. Damien, great to hear from you, friend of mine. Tom, your slide mentions UI and API. Are there the usual suite of control drivers going to be available? That's a great question, Damien, and there sure is. Now, I can kind of tell you how this goes. We use a few different people to make our control drivers. We actually, at one point, Damien's in the UK. All of our drivers were written in the UK. But now at this point, we have so many products and so many different things that we have a few different places where we get our drivers built. And some people will charge for those drivers, but we don't. At AVPro, those drivers any drivers we have, they are yours to have for no additional cost. And so those are going to be available directly on our website, where you'll be able to download them. As we add more and more, the more and more will become available. When we launch, it is going to have your Control 4, your Crestron coming out first, and then the others to follow behind that. And I know they're working on them, all of them right now, and I know some of them are already done. So thank you, Damien, for bringing that up. All right, Don Schuster said maybe you missed it, but when is this shipping? No, great question. We have a couple that this AEX-RC-HUB, this is shipping right now. So you can place your orders, make sure that you know that this ships separate, right? So you don't have 8 of these in here. You need to make sure that if you are going to be using 8 zones around, you buy 8 of these. But if you're only using 4, then you only have to buy 4 of these. And that's kind of why we didn't make it a complete package. We didn't want to, put in something that a lot of people wouldn't end up using. All right. Great question. All right. Next up, we got Tony. How does the client regulate volume when not using an overlay control system? Well, there's a few different ways. You could, if you're trustworthy, you could give your customer access to the API and they can manipulate it how they want there. They would still be able to use a remote for, some controlling their amplifier, and they would be able to control the volume there. But other than that, it would be up to you, Tony, to build them some sort of remote that accesses our API, and then you can choose volume up and down for any of the selectable outputs. So that's, any of those solutions would work 100% fine for however you want to do it. But the full API is available, so you can send commands directly to the device if you wanted to, or you can use the Ethernet control and use our web GUI, or you can send IR commands. However you wanted to, the commands are available for you to manipulate this however you want. All right, and then Tony had another question, and gosh, Tony, I'm so glad you brought this up. So he said, it would be great to benefit to have eARC input on the transmit baling. And you're 100% right about that, right, Tony? Because we're in residential, we hear eARC. eARC, what's eARC? It's this new enhanced audio return channel. But what makes eARC a little bit different is eARC is built for 7.1 audio, for Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, 7.1 LPCM, bitstream audio, really high quality audio signals that can be sent out of the HDMI port back to an AVR or back into a distributed audio system. Now, that is a crucial point for a lot of installations, but that installation you may only need that signal in the home theater or wherever else, and that's where you might use a local eARC port just to keep it in that zone. Where these products are going to be a little different, right? Because these products are all 2-channel, so there's some give and take with that, right? You're sending 2-channel through your patio, through your kitchen, through your garage, through your bedrooms. That's always never a problem at all. But in your home theater, you are going to want some full audio, so you would want to separate these out of here to make sure that you can still send that full bore audio to that main TV, to your big AVR that's connected to all your nice speakers. But yeah, awesome question, and I love that you're thinking about eARC. We should all be thinking about eARC. It is here. It's here to stay. It works way better than ARC. I test our products all the time. I play with our products. I see all the different peripherals and things that have to be connected, and I know how much devastation eARC can play. And so ARC can play because it's not very reliable, and eARC is much more reliable. It's not using the same signal type that ARC is, giving us a lot more. So as we think about audio for our distribution, we definitely want to have eARC in mind. And I do suggest taking a look at our AC-AEX-100 444 kit. It's a point-to-point extender, but it is able to send eARC back to the head end over or up to 100 meters, even when you're sending 4K HDMI the other way. So great question, Tony. All right. Okay, Wayne has another question here. Is the digital to analog part just the transmit side? Yes. So this is just your transmit side, right? Once we get into the hub, it's going to, send out all your analog signals for your 2-channel. So that is exactly correct. This little device takes in the signal. We switch it over to that, your analog signal going into your RJ45 in your hub and onto the rest of your home. All right. Okay. It looks like there is a couple other questions coming in here, but these are things I'll address offline here. So if you have your question that I didn't answer yet, know that I will reach out to you. Just a little bit off topic. So if you guys, thank you. I just want to thank you guys so much. Such great questions. Thank you for being interested in AVPro Edge's new products. We're going to continue to try to push the bounds of where we can get into jobs and what kind of jobs we can do, expanding what technology is possible with the technology we have, and push that even further. We want to thank you for being on the ride with us. Thank you for installing AVPro Edge. If you guys ever have any questions, you can reach me directly. I mean, I'm an open book. My email is tom@avproglobal.com. But if you have an RSM, reach right out to them. Make those connections with our team, and you will. We have a great team of reps, great team of RSMs that are ready to answer all the questions you have about any products, can help you with design, help you put these into your system. So, without further ado, thank you guys so much for attending another AVPro Edge training. My name is Tom Devine. I will see you guys on the next one, and these are shipping now. So hopefully you guys can get your RC Hub into the next installation you do. We'll see you later.